Today, before we offer our prayers at the holy feet of Bhagwan, we shall see a very different Leela of his. We share these Leelas only to relive those experiences and draw once again a huge shower of grace. There was one Appan Iyengar who was working as a TTR in the railways. He, a Vaishnava, a worshipper of Mahavishnu, when he used to be posted at Srirangam, he had seen Bhagavan often in 1952 itself. I believe Bhagavan used to be there just outside the temple tower of Sri Ranganatha of Srirangam in the daytime, and in the night Bhagavan used to come to the railway station and spend there. And after that, Bhagavan disappeared from there. Again, Sri Appan met him in Tapovanam Tirukovilu in 1968 only. And there, till 1974, because he knew him already, he moved with Bhagwan. He knew that Bhagwan, that he was not a dirty beggar as he often claimed. So with great devotion, he was moving with Bhagwan. And after that 4 years, he lost connection with him. In 1978, he began to come once again. By the time Bhagwan began to live in Sannadhi Street house from 1977. So he began to go to Sannadhi Street for darshan, and Bhagavan always welcomed him nicely. He would take him inside, and one day, when Bhagavan was talking to Sri Appan Iyengar, all of a sudden Bhagavan got up and said, "Appan, just a minute." He came out, he went out, and then when he came back inside, he brought somebody with him. Now the visitor looked like a Bairagi, a type of mendicant. He was a 6-footer, and he had piled all his hair in the fashion of Lord Shiva. And then he had a ochre cloth around his waist which reached up to his knees, and there was a small upper cloth. He had also a kambal, a woolen kambal, rolled into a bundle. And as soon as he entered, Swami Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagavan made him sit there. He gave his hand fan. He said, "Please sit. You can also fan yourself." But that Bairagi refused it. He used his upper cloth to fan himself. Bhagavan behaved just as a humble devotee would, whereas Bairagi behaved like a Mahatma, like a master. Sri Appan began to understand that Bhagavan was playing a Leela, was just playing a game with him. So he also got prepared to play along. And soon after, Bhagavan asked this Bairagi, "What is your name? Where are you from? What pujas you are doing?" Bairagi said his name was Indrajit. His master passed away, and because he had become one with God, he had stopped all the pujas. "Oh, so you are not doing any pujas anymore. Okay, you are a Bairagi. Where is your Kamandalam? Meaning, Kamandal means a small vessel these sadhu, these mendicants carry around. It's meant for water or anything, a multi-purpose small vessel. Then the Bairagi complained, look, I was in Chennai. When I was sleeping, somebody had stolen my Kamandal. And those people, they are not feeding at all. They are not giving anything to sadhus. They keep saying, Java, Java, go, go, go. So you see, for the past 3 days, I have not taken anything. I am starving. So Bhagwan said, oh, you need a Kamandal now. You need a small vessel. Okay. And then he took out 10 rupee note and gave it to him. You buy Kamandal from this. In those days, in the late 70s, it was a lot of money, 10 rupees. Bairagi was angry. You are giving me 10 rupees. What can I do with this? And Bhagavan asked Appan, Appan, you cannot buy a Kamandal in 10 rupees? He said, yes, we can. We can buy a mud pot, a small mud pot. The Bairagi got angry. He said, you are giving me a mud pot? How dare you say like this? He started to stare angrily at Appan Iyengar because he was suggesting a mud pot. Immediately Bhagavan took out another 10 rupee note and 20 rupees now. You can buy something in this. Appan, what can he buy in this? He said an aluminium vessel. He can buy out of 20 rupees. And Bairagi got angry, more angry now. He said, aluminium? It is worse than the mud pot. What are you suggesting? And then he demanded more money and more money and more money. Finally 10 rupees, 60 rupees. Bhagavan searched here and there and managed to give 60 rupees to him. And then Bairagi was happy. He said, okay, 60 rupees will do. I can buy a vessel small, Kamandal for this. Now he was very happy. He said, it's because of my Guru's grace I got this money from you people. Now I will go. And then he said, my Guru's grace, I got this money, so I must do a little puja before leaving. So he was wearing a linga around his neck. Immediately he brought it down, he put it on the floor, and as soon as he mentioned puja, Swami said, Appan, bring incense sticks and a matchbox, and you have brought a mango. It's a very beautiful, tasty mango, which Appan chose only for Bhagwan, an expensive mango. But Bhagwan said, you give that fruit to him for puja, and bring that knife. And there is a small banana leaf, you bring that also. So Appan was very busy, next few minutes gathering all those things, and then brought them and put them there. And this Bairagi stood on one leg, chanted some mantras, and then lighted the agarbatti, incense stick, and then put it there on the matchbox. He inserted it. He used the matchbox like a stand, and he put the lighted agarbattis there. And then using the knife, he cut the mango into pieces, and then took one big piece and put it on the matchbox, saying, this is for Paramatma, the Supreme God. And then started to distribute the other pieces. One to Bhagwan, one to Appan, and Appan did not know what to do with it, whether to eat it at all. Then Bhagwan made a gesture. Bhagwan took it himself, so Appan also took one. Just at that time, the Bairagi said, the puja is over, now I am going to go. When he was getting ready to go, one Srinivasan from Tapovanam came, a householder. He was running a tea shop. just outside Tapovanam. And Bhagavan used to go there for a cup of tea now and then. He moved with that family. The family was a poor family. Srinivasan had 4 daughters. And Swami used to visit them and share their gruel. Whatever little food they had, Swami would also share. So that Srinivasan chose to come inside at that time. And then Swami said, Bairagi, you see this Srinivasan? Poor man, you see he has had paralytic attack. He is not able to work. Now you have some medicine brought from the Himalayas. Can you give it to him? How did Swami know? Because this Bairagi never opened his bundle. Now he got irritated. He said, just when I am preparing to go, you are asking me to stay back and do all these things? All right. Okay, with great irritation. He took out some medicine and gave it to the Srinivasan, and then he could have easily left, but instead he chose to say, I am blessing you, you will be cured from this disease, you will become all right, and what is more, you will get a baby boy next year. Bhagavan began to laugh. Until then, Bhagavan behaved like a bhakta with great humility. But now, when the Bairagi chose to bless Srinivasan, Bhagavan began to laugh. Seeing him laughing, the Bairagi got wild. He said, how dare you laugh at me? You do not know the glory of the medicine that I have brought. All right, you take it and see. And then he gave a little of that and dropped it into Bhagavan's hand, and then again took a little more and gave it to Appan Iyengar. In the meantime, Srinivasan, after the medicine, with Bhagavan's permission, he had left. Appan Iyengar did not know what to do with the medicine, but then again Bhagavan gestured. He took the medicine himself and then asked him to take it. So Appan Iyengar also swallowed that. And then the Bairagi got so wild, seeing at the two of them playing this game. He said, you people do not know what power I have. You will just see who I am. And then he sat facing the east and began to chant some mantras. These Bairagis worship the fierce form of Lord Shiva, Hal Bhairava. So when he started to chant those mantras, Bhagavan's face changed. Until then he was laughing, and slowly his face changed. It became red. And then he shouted, Sai Baba, Sai Baba. He called out loudly. Sai Baba was the dog who used to stay with Bhagavan, was doing service to Bhagavan, just as a dog is a vahan, the mount of Kala Bhairava. The Sai Baba was also serving Bhagavan. The minute he called out, see the wooden door in Sannadhi Street house, heavy, and it was closed. But Sai Baba, how did it push that and come inside? It came running. It came right into the inner hall and stood by the side of Bhagavan. And then Bhagavan put his hand on Sai Baba, the dog, and sat there with a radiant face. Sri Appan Iyengar says he had darshan of Kala Bhairava, the deity of the Bairagis. The Bairagi opened his eyes and saw only the dog. Ah, Bhairava, he said. And then he looked at Bhagavan. He was not very impressed. He thought his Shakti, his power did not work on him. So immediately he started to chant mantras on Sri Hanuman, very powerful mantras. Immediately Bhagavan took a different stand. He said, Sai Baba, you can go. And it left immediately. It went running, went out. And then Swami stood up. he began to chant Jaya Hanuman and danced. He also did it very powerfully, and at that time Sri Appan saw him as Krishna Paramatma, Sakshat Mahavishnu with the peacock feathers, just as Shishupala, when he was abusing Lord Krishna took up the Vishwarupa and showed Shishupala who he was. Now when the Bairagi started to chant the powerful mantras of Hanuman in order to harm Bhagavan, Bhagavan took the stand. He appeared as the Supreme Krishna Paramatma, and Sri Appan had this darshan to his heart's content. And then this Bairagi opened his eyes and saw Bhagwan. He must have seen Krishna Paramatma himself there, and then his eyes opened. His ignorance left him. His ahankar, his ego, took the blow, and immediately he prostrated before Bhagwan with folded hands and said, "O Swami, thou art Paramatma, thou art the Supreme God. What did I do? I was so ignorant. I didn't know your glory. Please forgive me." And then Bhagavan became quiet. After that, of course, he forgave him, he blessed him nicely, the Bairagi, and he asked Bairagi where he was going, and Bairagi said he was going to Tirupati, and immediately Bhagavan introduced him to Sri Appan as TTR, and he said he would help you. And he mentioned the time, the train timing also. So after the Bairagi left, Sri Appan felt that he had that day the Vishwarupa, the Supreme God's darshan. He was the first-hand witness to this Leela of Bhagavan. Bhagavan always hid his true identity. He always pretended to be a beggar, a dirty beggar at that, a dirty sinner. He would say this beggar is very bad, mad, lazy and crazy. But then when the situation demanded the true identity of his, the supremacy, the supreme godhood, it expressed itself, and people knew instantly who he was. Now that Bhagavan is right in front of us with his hand raised in benediction.